Hey guys, it's Charlie. It's the 2nd of July, Friday, and we had a lot of information come out in the last few days about the economy. We are now truly on, I believe, the fast track to doom in this country. You know, my last video was warning signs, and those warning signs have not only increased, they've increased almost exponentially because with this jobs report that came out today. Thursday we had higher than expected first-time unemployment claims. Today we had higher than expected job losses in the month of June. And the actual horrifying part of that report is the fact that the unemployment rate, the U3 rate, which we all know is, everybody listening to this video, is ridiculous. The mainstream media was trying to spin it all day long as the one bright spot, the silver lining in the jobs report. The fact that it dropped from 9.7 to 9.5, in my opinion, is the most terrifying thing in that report because it signifies two things. Number one, there is hundreds of thousands of people who absolutely just stopped looking for work. So they came out of the Labor Department statistic of being unemployed, and now they're just, they're non-persons. They don't exist, according to the government. The more terrifying part of that report, the reason the number went from 9.7 to 9.5, is because hundreds of thousands of people a week now are going to be coming off the emergency unemployment rolls. The Senate has tried 4 times now and failed 4 times. For the wrong reasons. I mean, the Republicans are voting against it because they want to keep their seats in the midterm election, and the Democrats are voting against it are in contested seats, and they want to look like they're deficit hawks. So if you're on long-term unemployment, on emergency unemployment, which I know a lot of you are, my heart goes out to you because not only were you being placated to, not only were you being used by the politicians in Washington to show that they cared about what happened to the people of this country, now you're being used in a negative way, which, I predicted a long time ago that it's going to come to the point where the people who are relying on the government for help, right now, the government is placating to their needs. They're trying to get this voting bloc behind them by handing out trinkets and gimmicks. And soon, and we're already seeing it, those same people are going to be demonized and marginalized, not only by the government, but by the mainstream media, who is basically the talking machine for Washington and Wall Street. You're going to start seeing those people castigated because they are relying on the government for help. It's going to get blamed on them. Remember, the crash in 2008, it wasn't blamed on the too big to fails. It wasn't blamed on the casino practices of firms like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, AIG. It wasn't their fault. If you remember right, it was the fault of the people who took out loans that they couldn't afford. You still will hear that kind of talk on conservative talk radio. It's these scumbags who took out loans they couldn't afford. And nothing could be absolutely further from the truth than that statement. I mean, $9 trillion was the amount of mortgage debt in 2008, and we've spent $30 trillion to fix the too big to fails. And the game has now run its course. All of that toxic waste, all of those casino gambling debts have been put onto the backs of myself and you and the rest of the public. And so this time when the market collapses, as we are watching it happen right before our very eyes daily, the worst month in the history of the Dow Jones in May, and now we've seen a 10% decline in this quarter for the Dow Jones. It is on a course down, plain and simple. This time, though, when it hits the bottom, when we see the big crash, there's not going to be this clamoring out of Washington to hand out money to the citizens and to Wall Street because the damage has been done. The game has been played. Wall Street's got their debts handled and taken care of. They're made 100% whole, 100% healthy. They've shifted all the toxicity onto the people of this country. So now we're going to get to suffer. We're going to get to go through the austerity. And it's coming. I mean, coming and here, for that matter. And it even goes further than that, and it's even worse than that. Over the last couple days on my show, I've had Jonathan Walthen, who did the flyover over the Gulf of Mexico, and his YouTube videos have had over 500,000 hits. And I've also had Adrian Sarbucci talking about the world power elite ramping up their quest to globalize the world governance through banking and through actual global governance. So we have a ramping up on all levels. We have a disaster in the Gulf that we're being lied to about by our administration and by BP. We're having the media, through their negligence of not reporting what's going on, their crime of omission. We are not fully aware of that disaster that's happening down there. We have the economic front that's crumbling before our very eyes. Meanwhile, our president's out today saying we're heading in the right direction. You know, what could be further from the truth than that? Yet, the media will play that. A lot of people, and I know a lot of your friends and family, will believe that. But the truth is this. A year and a half has gone by. A year and a half, and the wealth of this nation has been robbed to the tune of trillions upon trillions of dollars. There is no need to have the facade of recovery anymore. Now we need to enter back into what Rahm Emanuel likes to call a crisis, and he doesn't want to waste that crisis. We're entering into this crisis now for one reason and one reason only, and it's going to be the formation of a global banking governance, which is going to lead to the erosion of your liberty, to the erosion of not only the United States sovereignty, but nations around the world. And if you have friends and family that are not awake to this, now is the time to make your last-ditch effort to try to wake these people up. Because, in my opinion, I truly believe the game is over. I mean, we are truly on now the fast track to doom, the fast track to the end of the free market capitalist system, the end of America as we know it, the end of a constitutional republic. So please, this is probably your last chance to get your friends and family awake. If they don't listen this time, you know, I know I've come on here before and said over and over again, do what you can for your friends and family, because I have friends and family that are asleep, that aren't willing to face reality, and I'm still not going to give up. I'm going to keep trying, but I'm really starting to sound the warning bell that it's game over. There's no more time. If you're not ready now, you're not going to be. So, anyway, I'd like to thank everybody once again for coming over to Wide Awake Radio and checking me out over there on the Rense Network. Also, everybody who supported the website, wideawakenews.com. I will put links down below, and I will put the stories that I got the data from in this video in the more information area. All right, that's all I got.